Hello my interior design family, welcome to this channel. My name is Tia. I'm from Tia Care and Interiors, and let's jump right into it. Have you ever had this experience that I've had? You go into a space and it just looks expensive, it just looks beautiful, it feels sophisticated, it feels elegant, it just feels like you've entered some really nice boutique hotel or a really nice soothing spa. You get that feeling. Of course you're not in a hotel and you're not in a spa, but when you walk into this room or this space, that's how it makes you feel, and you can't put your finger on what is it that's making the space feel so harmonized, so uplifting, so put together, so elegant, and it makes you want to sit well, and it even changes your behavior a little bit because you feel like I'm in a really well sophisticated space, right? Have you ever been or entered a room and felt that way? If you have, most likely it might have had this superpower. This is one of the superpowers of interior designers, and this is one of the secrets of interior designers. And what is it? Okay, so it's a monochromatic color scheme. Yes, it's that simple and that easy, but most of people forget it when they're designing their own spaces, especially when you're really excited and really happy to go shopping and buy everything and decide on paint colors and decide on wall coverings, what the bed headboard should be, and what everything duvets and everything you're buying. Most people tend to forget to keep in mind a color scheme. And I'm not talking about beige or white. That's really good, and that's also very aesthetic and very in right now and very easy to do. But I'm talking about using this color scheme for other colors, for example, red or blue, right? Bolder colors, right? And so how do you achieve this monochromatic color scheme and make everything look elegant? Firstly, you pick one base color. So you could decide that your base color, let's go for a blue. You could decide your base color is blue, and you get a middle medium looking blue. Okay, that's your first decision. And then the second thing is you're then going to choose hues and different tones from the lighter colors all the way to the darker colors of that hue that you like. And you don't have to only stick to the lighter side of the colors or the darker side of the colors. I've talked about this a little bit in my other videos as well, but I just want to address it here specifically as its own thing because I think it's so important to interiors, right? You could decide that you're going for a blue and that you're going to stick with the lighter hues, so different tones and of the light blue. Or you could decide you're going to stick with the deeper, darker blues, right? And you're going to go for different tones in that area. Or you could actually have the entire range all the way from the lighter blues, like baby blues, all the way to a deep, dark navy, for example, right? And so that decision is all up to you. So those are the first two ways in which you choose for your monochromatic color scheme. You choose your base color, and then you choose the tones, light tones, all the way to dark tones, or you can have the full range of colors, right? And then the third thing you need to remember is layers and textures. So what you need to remember is that even if you're going for let's say you've decided to just go for the lighter blues, right? You don't want to keep everything flat. You don't want to have one type of fabric. You don't want to have one look. So you definitely don't want to go for one shade because that will make the space look really flat. You want to go for at least I would say stick to a rule of at least 3 shades of that blue. You can go for way more, but as long as you're in that color family. And you want to layer your textures. And what do I mean by layering your textures? I mean you want to choose your wall color in that same hue. You want to choose your furniture pieces in that same hue, and you could have let's say you could have paint, or you could have wallpaper in a baby blue, and then you could get a sofa in a deeper navy that's velvet, and then you could decide to get a rug that's I don't know, has a pattern with a certain type of blue in it or anything else. So, and your softer finishes. So you could bring in a different shade of blue for your cushions, for any other soft furnishings that you're going to have in your space, like any throws, right? And then for other things such as tables and side tables and TV stands, of course, that you could decide to actually paint. Also, like if you have a built-in, to paint your built-in in that same hue of one hue of that blue, just so it goes with the entire space, right? But of course, when it comes to those pieces, you can definitely go for a wood or a metal. But then when you're choosing your wood and your metal, you also want to make sure that that wood and that metal goes very well with the color that you have chosen. So what do I mean? Well, the different types of metals: there's silver, gold, bronze, everything else there is. In the same way, there's wood, there's a teak and walnut and all different types of colors of wood for wooden furniture pieces, as well as, for example, if you have wooden floors, right? So you want to make sure that the wood and metal elements that you're choosing for your space go well with your color of choice. Just to give you a little example, like if you're a woman, for example, and you're wearing a certain dress, you might decide, okay, maybe I'm not going to wear gold, I'm going to wear silver because of the type of, the type of color of this dress. And then you can use the same example, like if you're a man, you could decide maybe you have like different straps for your watch, and you could be like, oh, when I'm wearing this type of suit, I want to have this kind of strap for my watch, but maybe in a different suit you might want to have a different strap, right? So it's in the same way, like it's kind of fashion, but then you bring it into the world of interiors, kind of. I love both. I'm a lover of fashion and a lover of interiors. And so that's how you would choose your other metal and wood elements. But remembering that the majority of everything that you can get that has a fabric on it or a color, or such as curtains and rugs and throws and pillows and sofas and wall coverings, anything that you're buying, all the furnishings and accessories, they're having that hue, of one hue in your blue family, right? So yeah, I'm so excited to see you create some monochromatic color schemes. But I also want you to know you can create this very fine style using any color that you choose, and your space is just going to look so beautiful, elegant, sophisticated, well put together, a rich space, So that's how you create your monochromatic color scheme interior. And if you're really interested in knowing more about how to like put together your colors with your metals, with your textures, and matching everything together and putting everything together so you have a well made, a well designed and cohesive space, you can check out my Empowered to Design course. It's a pre-recorded course and I'll probably link it in the description. And in that course, I really go through everything you will need as an interior designer. But yeah, that's one exciting part that you have like in that course as well. I have a whole module on color, metals, materials and textures, and how to bring them all together. And it's very exciting when you start seeing your design come to life. So with that said, I'll let you go and have a good rest of your day or night, depending on when you're watching this. And I'm Tia from Tia Karen Interiors, and check out the rest of my videos in this series. Like and subscribe so that I can continue to make these videos for you. It'll help me know that you actually like this kind of content, and if you engage with it, then I know that, okay, I should come back and produce more because someone actually cares about knowing more about this interior content. So yeah, let me know what you think. Comment, like, subscribe, share to anyone if you're designing a space with someone else, or you've bought a space, or you know a friend that's like designing your space, or just someone who loves interiors. Do share, and you can also find me on Instagram. Bye my loves.